When Lexus discontinued their fiery V8 ISF back in 2014, Lexus was already preparing to release the RCF back in 2015. For 2020, Lexus slightly revised the RC lineup to be more competitive with the likes of the BMW 4 Series, Audi A5, and the Mercedes-Benz C-Class Coupe. Let's see if this 2020 RCF is still relevant in this compact sports coupe segment. So in the front of the RC, this is where you kind of start to see things change for the better. At least that's where I think this thing is going. So for 2020, Lexus integrated the daytime running light strip into the headlight fixture itself, which I think looks 100% better. I think the IS is still a separated design, and I just think it looks really weird. Now, speaking about the headlights, it's a full LED setup, so you have an LED low beam, high beam, turn signal, and daytime running light, which is running right now. You can also still see that Lexus kept their regular spindle grille, which I think looks nice on their sedans and coupes, but it just starts to look a little bit weird on their SUVs like the RX, GX, and LX. You don't get fog lights on the RCF, but you do get a lot of more induction and places for air to go to cool the brakes and for downforce and aerodynamics. Now, under the hood of the RCF, this is where things start to get fun. Well, this is where the fun begins. You have a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8. You get 472 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque. Now that, if I can remember correctly, I think that's about 5 more horsepower than the last model. I don't know if it's that noticeable, but I guess we'll find out when I drive it. 0 to 60 on this particular RCF is about 4.2 seconds, but on the RCF Track Edition, that can get down to, I think, 3.9 or something. I mean, I think anything around 4 seconds, 3 seconds is fast. And I'm a little bit intimidated of the power, I think. I haven't tried it out yet, just to save my reaction for later. Now, if you care whatsoever about fuel economy, this car gets 16 in the city, 24 on the highway, and a combined rating of 19. I don't think that's too bad for the power you're getting, but personally, I mean, if I was in the market for this car, fuel economy would not be really that much of a priority for me. But this engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic, and you do have a limited slip differential, and it has some torque vectoring ability for the rear wheels because it's only rear-wheel drive. Now, on the side of the RCF, the first thing that you'll see are these 19-inch alloy wheels. And I think they look pretty good. It's an attractive looking wheel. You can also get a different looking wheel that you could get standard on the previous RCF, but these are a pretty nice looking wheel in the first place. I think they look pretty cool since it's like a dark gunmetal color. And as for tires on the RCF, it does run a staggered setup. So in the front, it's a 255/35 R19, and in the back, it's a 275 with tire. So I think I should be expecting some pretty good lateral grip, but I mean, you can't really have fun with this car to its full potential legally, so that's the only problem. Now, towards the rear end of the RCF, the taillights were revised for 2020, and I really think that they look a lot better. Well, 2019 and 2020. The RCF was the one that was upgraded in 2020, but the regular RCs were upgraded for 2019. So for 2019 and 2020, you have a new dark and red looking taillight. I don't know how to describe it. I really do like how they look compared to the last taillights that were on the RC. This is where they could have done a little bit more. The turn signals are incandescent bulbs. The brake lights and reverse lights are LEDs, so I don't know why they couldn't have just added an LED unit for the turn signals, but that's just nitpicking there. But I really do like how the rear end of the RC looks. And as you can see on the RCF, you do get this retractable spoiler which pops up automatically around 50-55 miles an hour, but there's a little switch inside that you can pop it up or pop it back down. And just like most other F models, you do have the quad tips in the back, which I think sound, well, the exhaust of this car, I really think it sounds good. Take a listen. I also want to apologize for sweating so much, but literally all day over in Maryland, it's been over 100 degrees, and right now it's like 90 something, and it's almost 7 o'clock in the evening. So it's hot. Anyways, since we're already at the rear end, let's look at the trunk. So the button is right in the middle next to the backup camera, and it does open all the way up when you click it, which is nice. I mean, I would kind of expect that from a luxury car. And you can also pop the trunk from the key fob as well, but you do have a decent amount of space back here. It's not extraordinary. I think it's average in the class. I do think that this is a little bit smaller than the 4 Series and the A5. I haven't tested out those cars, so I'm not exactly sure how to compare trunk space. BMW, Audi, hit me up. But personally, I think for this car, it's adequate for the demographic that this thing is going towards, or just people that, you know, would buy this car. Well, that's kind of the same thing. But underneath, you don't get a spare tire, as, I mean, I expected that. You just get a can of Fix-A-Flap and then a pump. And the only tools that you get in this car are a Phillips screwdriver, and that's pretty much it. And then you have this little tow hook that screws into the front or rear bumper of the car. In case if your kid throws this thing into a ditch, you can pull him out. And this is not a car to give to someone my age. This is a little bit dangerous. Like I said, I'm a little intimidated. Now, just before I get inside of the RCF, here's the key fob for it. So it's Lexus's typical key fob design. They've been using this for years. There's nothing wrong with it, but it does look a little bit dated compared to BMW and Mercedes keys. But if it ain't broke, I don't see why you should fix it. With this key fob, you do have the smart key access system. And to use that smart key access system, you can just keep the key in your pocket or your purse, and to unlock the doors, you just grab the handle and it'll beep twice, and then to lock it, you just press this little indentation on the door and it'll beep once. But getting inside of the RCF, it's not too bad. Now, step in height if you're older, and I do know some old people with RCFs, you'd be surprised. Step in height isn't actually too bad. Like when I get in here, oh, if you're old, it's not too bad to you know, step in here. But I mean, this is definitely an interesting daily, if this is your daily. Now, looking at the door panel, it's all soft touch materials, as you should expect from a $70,000 car. The top part of the door panel is soft, but it's kind of pretty resistant, actually. You have 3-person memory for the driver's seat, steering wheel, and mirrors. And you have door handles over here. It's not really a real metal, but whatever. And you have some carbon fiber material over here. I'm honestly not really sure if it's real or not, but I would expect it to be real. But the driver and passenger side windows are auto up and down. They're your window locks, door locks, and the mirror controls over here. Now, you don't get power folding mirrors on the RC, which is, I would kind of expect it from this price point. I don't even think the IS sedan gets them, so I don't know, that would be something nice to have. But looking at the rest of the door panel, you have this Alcantara material on the armrest and the side of the door panel, and white stitching all along, which looks pretty nice. I like how it contrasts. And you have some soft white material over here. This is the particular color combo for this car, black and white, but you can get black and red, and then some other color combos as well. And down below, you get some little storage pockets down there. And then one annoying thing is that you'll always end up scuffing the door sill in this car when you get in, unless if you really think about trying not to scuff it up, but it's easy to clean. And looking at the seats, like I said, it's that black and white material, and these seats are special for the RCF. They're really supportive. I'll talk about them later, but they're really really tight on you. If you're bigger than me, which I'm a pretty big dude, I think you'd have some trouble. Not trouble, but you'd feel pretty tight in there. You have a 10-way power driver's seat, and I believe you have a 10-way power passenger seat as well. Now, looking at the buttons over here, you have your trip computer button and your dimness switch for the gauges and the instrument cluster. Right there is the knob to control your power adjustable steering wheel, and then below those you have your automatic high beam button. That button over there controls the spoiler to go up and down. Blind spot monitor and parking sensors are under those, and then the hood release and trunk release are down there. And for the fuel release, you just push it open, and then it does lock with the doors too, so you can't really fool it. Now inside of the RCF, you'll feel pretty much at home if you're familiar to the IS and the RC. Honestly, it's these cars are kind of cramped. Even for smaller people, I've heard, it just feels tight. Not really tight, I'm comfortable, but it really feels like a cockpit in here. And since this car does have the smart key system, you can start it with push button start, so you just put your foot on the brake and then press the start button to go. And you can hear that 5-liter V8. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty cool, actually. Now, looking at the steering wheel, you have a 3-spoke leather-wrapped steering wheel, and on the left side, you have your audio and Bluetooth controls. So you have your volume right there, track forward and backward, mode, which is the source button, so you can change from AM and FM and stuff like that. And then underneath that, you have your Bluetooth phone buttons to pick up, hang up, and voice control. And then the horn has a good sounding horn. And then on the right side of the wheel, you have the buttons that control the center display up there. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of information pages and stuff that you can source through, like fuel economy, and then you have all your sporty things, navigation, the audio, driver assistance, warnings and messages, and then settings. It's pretty simple, and then there are a lot of things that you can scroll up and down with these buttons. Now below this little D-pad over here, you have these 2 buttons here which also control the center display, and you have on the left your lane keep assist button, and on the right you have your adaptive cruise control button. And like most Toyotas, you have the cruise control stock outside of the steering wheel. Just, you know, it's a Toyota thing, but they are migrating to eliminate that. Now, taking a quick glance at the gauges, you have your information screen on the left. In the center you have your speedometer, well, a digital speedometer and tachometer, and on the right you have an analog speedometer, which looks pretty cool because it goes up to 200. Now, another thing behind the wheel on the RCF, you have paddle shifters, so on the left you shift down and on the right you shift up. And also you have your headlight controls on the left here, they are automatic, and you have your wiper controls on the right there, and those are also automatic. Now, like I said, the seats they hug me a lot. You're not going to be moving around and getting thrown around like you will be in an ES350 or whatever. Build quality feels really nice. Everything is soft touch. You have more of that Alcantara material on the dash right above the gauges, and then you have more soft touch material all over. This is plastic, but I mean, honestly, I don't really care. But I mean, I guess, you know, they could have put a soft touch piece over there, but everyone rants and raves about, oh my god.
Oh, sorry, we lost you along the way.
Looking at the display, it's a 10-inch screen, and new for 2019 and 2020 is Apple CarPlay, but no Android Auto. I'm expecting it to come because Android Auto is coming on more Lexuses and Toyota products, so I guess just wait a little bit longer. I don't know. So I'm not exactly sure how I feel about the display over here. So it uses Lexus's N-Form system. And it uses this little mouse pad over here. And I definitely feel like while I'm driving, it's pretty distracting. But I feel like once you get a feel for it, you will get used to where the things are and you won't have to look down to see what you're doing. And also, it's actually pretty responsive. That is something I think Lexus is okay with. There is a little bit like a second delay, but it's nothing like noticeable. is not really something that would bother me too much. I really think it's just there's a second delay, so it could be a little bit faster in that part, but it is responsive when you slide your finger and click things. Like, it recognizes things pretty fast, and I haven't found any lagginess in the system. You do have a backup camera when you put it in reverse, and you only have 2 views. I am kind of disappointed on that. I would expect you to have a 360 view camera. You do have 2 views, so you have a wide view and a normal view, and when you're in the wide view you have guidance lines that do steer with the wheel, but nothing else fancy like rear cross traffic or anything like that. Now down below at the climate controls, you have a dual zone climate control system, and the toggles, just like the IS, are pretty interesting. How you can just slide your finger or click up and down to raise or lower the temperature. Down below the climate control system, you have some of your radio controls, or at least the hard touch buttons. So you have your volume and power knob, your tuning knob, and in the middle you have some hard touch buttons to eject your CDs. This car does have a CD player. I mean, CD players have been going away in cars, so I think it's pretty good that this 2020 has one for those people that, you know, like CDs. I mean, I know some music sounds better on CD anyway, but under that, also the audio system is a Mark Levinson premium audio system. Lexus has been paired with Mark Levinson for forever. But down below that, you have your seat controls over here and your steering wheel control. So you do have heated and cooled seats, and it's, you know, 3 stages for the cooling and heating features. And also you have a heated steering wheel, which heats up pretty quickly too. I think that would be really nice on a cold day, but not on a day like this. But looking at the shifter, you have an 8-speed automatic transmission, and you can shift it in manual mode over here on the left if you just click it left, and you can use the paddle shifters as well. And on the right of that, you have your drive mode. So you have Eco, Normal, and also Sport and Sport Plus. And below that you have your traction control off button, and you have launch control. And I've never experienced launch control, and I think we're gonna do that today, if I can. Behind that you have 2 cup holders, and then you have that little Lexus mouse pad right next to that. And then looking at the center console, it's not too deep, but you do have you have 2 USB ports and an aux jack, and then a power outlet on the side of it. Now you use those USB ports to plug in for CarPlay and eventually Android Auto. Now looking at the glove box, it is damped when you open it, and you just, you know, click that little button. It's not that tall, but it is deep, because, you know, you can fit a pretty big book in there, like what's in there now, and it opens and closes very soft. It's very nice. And you do have an auto dimming rear view mirror with 3 garage door home link, and then you do have a standard size sunroof, and the controls are up here just like most other cars. And then you have that touch sensitive lighting that most other Lexuses have as well. Now if you're trying to get into this non-existent back seat, you can't really do that on the driver's side, so I guess I have to well, I'm gonna slide the seat up to my driving position. Just gonna wait for it to move, and then I'm gonna try to get in. You think I'm gonna get in? No. So the passenger side seat electrically slides, and it takes a while. Okay, so I mean, there's nothing really back here to talk about. You do have 2 air vents. That's a big bird. But you do have 2 air vents, and then, getting in it isn't too bad, but sliding the seat, I don't have headroom. Oh no, okay. So there's no headroom because my head's touching the ceiling. I'm 5'8". There, legroom, that's not too bad. I mean, well, there's just like nothing. My knees are touching the seat, but my legs aren't uncomfortable. But my head is, because I have to like tilt my head over. But you do have 2 air vents back here, and then 2 cup holders, and then an armrest in the center. So this is more for like kids, not even small adults, I don't think. And if you're actually going to be driving it, from my driving position, no one can fit back there unless if it's like a baby. So the seat, you know, it just slides like this. I don't like that because if it's like pouring rain, you have to wait for the seat to go up, and then yeah. So my first impressions after driving the RC, the ride actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be. Now it's not soft, and it's stiff, but it's not jarring. I haven't really driven on really rough roads, and I would kind of try to avoid them because of these big 19-inch wheels, because I feel like they pop for nothing. But taking some, corners in a parking lot, it's actually very responsive, and this is in normal mode, and the brakes are kind of touchy at first, but I do like them. Regular throttle response on normal, it's kind of mushy. Not really in a bad way, just you kind of have to get on it, and that's kind of what I guess most people would want in normal mode, because they just want to chill while they're driving. I'm actually a little bit nervous because I feel like I'm going to get thrown around a little bit, but I think I'll be okay. Just breath, deep breaths. Now, I'm not gonna drive stupid like any other, young teenager or old teenager, I guess. I kind of just can expect myself to be screaming and giggling. I'm about to get on the highway. Okay, we're about to go. So I'm gonna put myself in Sport S Plus. So that's the sportiest setting. Now I'm gonna watch if there's police. Okay, and I'm gonna get in the left lane and then punch it. Ooh! Oh my god! Okay, that's like wow. Okay, so this car has power. Let's do from 50. Wow! Oh, and the noise of this car that it makes is fantastic. Oh, I need to take a breath here. And I can't imagine how this car is like from a dig. Oh, holy Jesus.
Holy Jesus.
My goodness. It like, I mean, like, if it's like that around the mid-range, I can't imagine how strong it is. Ooh. I don't want to do that because I see a person and a dog. I'm going to put myself in sport. I don't like driving stupid around neighborhoods just because, but let's get on it a little bit more here, because this is a little bit of a windy road, so it's really doing well. I mean, I would expect it to do that. And it didn't get swirly at all when I went on it. I'm not even like doing 10 tenths or 5, if not even like trying. Just because I really don't want to do something stupid. I'm going to put myself in Sport Plus. And maybe we should try launch control. I'm going to... Oh my god! I mean, I didn't do launch control, but wow! Heavy breathing. And it just like the induction noise when you're in sport. Wow, it's kind of breathtaking, honestly. My god. And steering, it could be a little bit heavier. I would prefer it to be just a little bit heavier in its sportiest setting, but it is very quick. There's no steering lag, and I do have road feel, And I'm liking how this car drives, but you're really gonna get in trouble if you have a heavy foot. Well, you're gonna be getting in trouble a lot, and you will have very bad gas mileage. That's something I will say. Now, downshifting, it doesn't really, I don't know, that wasn't really good, but it is like quick to downshift, so that is good. Like, we really can't like feel the the full potential of this car, because you're really gonna like do some dumb shit, and you really don't want to do that. I'm still baffled, like, just like that was just like barely touching the gas. Oh gosh, the last car that I was on camera that made me, I guess, react like that was the Kia Stinger GT. Now these are two different cars, but that was quite good too. Wow. But let me see, in normal mode, the revs go down. There's a good amount of road noise, actually. I guess it depends on what asphalt you're on. That Nissan, what's wrong with Nissan drivers doing some stupid things? He just like almost went on the opposite side of the road. But taking this corner, wow, it turns in fast. That's quite good. It actually turns very tight. Wow. Now let's see here. So, turn off traction control. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh god, I really, oh my god. Oh, this, like, oh my god, it takes your breath away. I'm gonna keep myself in normal. But if I put myself in eco mode, wow, steering is still quick, but there's just like no feel. And then you lose your tachometer. I mean, it's not a big deal, but like, it's in eco mode. Wow, it's downshifting itself, I think. Yeah, it downshifts itself, so it does save on the brakes. And then turning, yeah, in eco mode, it really limits the system. You don't really feel as much power. I kind of want to get on it again here. This thing turns you into a laughing dope. Oh my god. Wow. Like, it leaves you speechless. Let me just put it like that. So as for pricing of the RCF, it starts at just the regular RCF like my tester here today, which is $64,750, and that's the base price, but mine was spec'd up to $75,000 actually. And then there's the RCF Track Edition, which is way more expensive at $96,650. And that's for a completely different video to see if that car is worth it. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video on the 2020 Lexus RCF. I hope it was tolerable. I mean, I guess I'll figure out when I edit it. But the heat, it's not fun filming in the heat. But I wanted to get this video out for you guys because I wanted to see how an RCF is, and I would think it would be pretty interesting to document it. So definitely subscribe for more videos like this, hit the notification bell because YouTube algorithm is weird sometimes. But I will see you guys in the next video, and yeah, bye peeps.